This is your WW3 News. As you may have seen the film Threads, which goes through pace to pace from the international crisis to the actual detonation of the nuclear weapon above Sheffield. There is one part which I've mentioned in a few videos back regarding in wartime or time of crisis, governments pass special powers to local public officials in case of central government can't administrate. Therefore you've got these individuals, peacetime councillors they're called, something like that. They were the ones in mass casualty crisis administrate what is left of that society. And obviously there's legislation for those type of things, probably in every country in the West. What emerges out, it was featured on Paul and Agent Off-Grid Farming, who has a website. They do geopolitical news, he does, and a bit of gospel, not bad, And there was this letter going around, not just for the federal employees, any type of public service, like banks, post office, hospitals, government offices, local councils, whoever works in the public. And they have received a letter saying, you must have this letter and your ID at all times because you're considered as an essential worker. It goes back to the times, to the dreaded lurgy pandemic. Remember, key workers which only can, in certain times of crisis, they can go around. And strangely enough, this letter, postmaster which Paul talked to, and he was talking to the bank manager in his town. Well, he or she jumped out of her seat, astonished and surprised. She said, how do you know about this letter? Even we got it. And he says it's been floating around on the internet, which is a bit weird because you don't want to spook the public when you're heading towards a crisis. You try to have essential public services and society working until the last moment. And afterwards it comes in special powers, civil defence, and other things. Those who knows the stories about how life of World War II was as a civilian, granddad, grandma, and distant relatives which probably are not alive anymore, they will tell you how it works. Rationing, curfews, stuff like that. In any type of mass casualty event, which I call it. War, economical collapse, virus, EPM attacks, cyber attacks, all that type of situations which disrupts and creates chaos and panic if the public gets to know about it. And obviously the bad weather going around over America, the icy stuff. And see, in the times we're living, these special powers can be pulled out just like that. And the governments will limit your freedom, your civil liberties, constitutional rights, all that stuff, basically. Is America going towards martial law, curfews, lockdowns? Here in Europe, until now, there's nothing flown around. Probably some countries which governments give pamphlets regarding, in the case of an emergency, especially we could be on the brink of World War III in Europe. You never know. The Russians are telling their populations. Norwegians have done this, and I think other Scandinavian countries as well. It's just European countries which France and Germany haven't told their population yet, but they're saying you have to get ready for Java, ready for firewall. You know, most of the people, you know, they don't take it for granted. They take it for granted. I say it's a load of bullshit, fear-mongering and stuff like that. But in some cases, it's the real McCoy. It's the real deal. So it's best to keep eyes open. If you hear or your government's preparing something, obviously they'll be doing it in secret, and there's word out, and most probably they're preparing for something pretty big, which will have a huge impact on where you are, even on the world as well.